Hello everyone, so welcome to the first video of this series about project risk, and in this video I'm going to speak about positive and negative risks. So first of all, negative risks. Whenever we think about the word risk, we always assume it's something negative, but that's not necessarily true. It is true. Okay, it is true, but not always. But let's start first to understand what is a negative risk. A negative risk is anything that creates a threat to your project, and that means it can affect your project in the three main areas you have, in terms of scope, in terms of schedule, and in terms of budget. And that means a negative risk is something that can affect one of these categories negatively. So risk categories will depend on a lot of things, but in my opinion it depends on mostly on two major variables, which is what is the type of project you are doing and what is your management approach. And typically what happens is the later in the project you detect the risk, the higher the impact it will have, on the higher the amount of resources it will take to fix that risk. Typically, not always, but typically this is what happens. Positive risks, on the other hand, they're good. They're opportunities. So they are an opportunity that allows you to do better in one of the three constraints of the project. You do better in your scope. That means you exceed the performance that you initially thought you would have, or you finish the project earlier, or you spend less money than what you believe it would be necessary. And here, once again, the risk, the type of positive risks you will have will depend a lot as well on the type of project you have and on what is your management approach. And like before, the later you detect the opportunity on your project, then the less resources you're going to have to be able to take on that opportunity. So in terms of managing risk, what is the steps? Well, technically, to manage risk, there's 4 steps here. Step 1, we need to identify what are the risk factors that we have. Step 2, we need to analyze and prioritize the risks and know which ones need a response and the when. So first we identify the risks, and then we're going to see, do I need to actually do something about this risk? I'll talk about that later. Then on step 3, I need to develop my response plan, and on step 4, then I have to implement that plan. So as well, I want to say that there are we can also divide risks into, another way to divide risks is into 2 different categories, which is product risk and project risk. Product risk is risk associated with the product itself, with the work that you do, with what you are trying to create. And this has to do with risks related to product, to facilities, or to process. Now, technically, these type of risks are more technical, and normally they will affect the efficiency or the safety of the product. And therefore, typically, to solve this type of risks, you need a more technical team. You need the people that have the functional expertise on that task. So for example, if it might be a risk related to marketing, therefore you need the person that knows marketing the most to be able to manage that risk. Project risks, on the other hand, are projects that affect the whole project rather than just one category. And here we have projects as well that are related to the triple constraint, things that will undermine the viability of my project. And this has to be managed, unlike before, which was managed by a functional team. Here it has to be managed by the core team, because it's something that will affect everyone. All right, so we've seen that not all risks are necessarily bad. Some risks are good. And being a project manager means that it's actively taking care and managing both types of risks. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know if you have any questions on the comment section below, and I'll see you on the next video of this mini series.